And we also got Mitch from the Four Sportsmen.
What's up, guys?
Sportsmen. What's going on, Mitch from the Four Sportsmen? Let's get going here because I got a time constraint because I'm going to the hockey game tonight.
Nice.
Did everybody watch Raw or Smack or AEW or both?
AEW.
Yeah, I watched everything.
AEW full and the Hulu version of Raw.
Right. All right. Let's start with AEW. Okay. So, Joe, what were the ratings? Can you pull the ratings up?
Went up over 1 million, but let me get you the exact number. TBS debut, 1.010 million, up from 975,000 last week.
All right. And they had a title match too. Didn't they branded this show, right? What was it called? New Year's? Was this New Year's Eve?
No.
So was this different?
I think it was just Page versus Danielson 2.
No, but it was. Didn't they name this? It was the launch on
Friday's
TBS.
Friday's Battle of the Belts. Do you guys know if they had
this Friday is Battle of the Belts?
Yeah,
It's Saturday, I believe.
Or Saturday. I'm sorry.
Saturday, yeah.
All right.
And also joining us for the first time is Luis Moreno. What's up, man?
Hey, good, man. Thank you for having me.
Where are you
Pleasure.
calling from?
From Los Angeles, Cali.
LA. All right. So just basically, so you know, Diablo, is that your name?
Double O.
Double O? All right. Double O, basically, we'll go over the shows. Me and Disco will give our opinion. Disco will interrupt many times, so you probably will never, ever able to get one train of thought out before he interrupts you. And then if you guys have any other side comments after we've commented initially, feel free.
All right. So let's start with AEW. So they're going again with a. They open the show with the Bryan Danielson, Adam Page world title match, and they had the judges. So I assumed that this would be like a
time limit draw.
Yeah. So I was watching this, like I'd watch like a couple minutes and then fast forward and then watch like a couple minutes more. And I was just kind of like waiting to see what the finish would be. But they finished it. He beat him with the buckshot lariat. So it was just a clean win, I guess, for Adam Page over Bryan Danielson.
I might be a little nitpicky on this, but I just think like if you're gonna have judges, they should be guys that are known for wrestling, not Mark Henry and Big Show. I was good with Jerry Lynn, but I would have had in there, I don't know, maybe Malenko, Arn Anderson, somebody like that. But that just may be being nitpicky. The one thing that sticks out to me, which is it's a big thing too, bro. It's a real big thing, and it's an easy fix, bro. They have no packages. Like that show should started off with what happened last week and the last match they had together, and they should have built up with a real good video package like WWE does. They don't do none of that, bro. No. They spent more time on Malachi Black and Brian Pillman. Don't get me started. All right. And I thought I'm still kind of a mark when I know there's going to be a good match. I knew this match would be good, and it was actually better than I expected. I thought this match was actually great.
Yeah.
I will say this. I applaud AEW for making new stars, whether it's Darby Allin or Jungle Boy or Jade or even this guy, what's this guy's name? Adam Page. And it does help that you beat the best wrestler twice, or at least once, because the other one was a tie, and that you had great matches with him. But I still feel like he shouldn't be world champion. I still feel it's too early. I still feel it's something you should have given him a little bit later. But at least they're trying to make somebody.
Well, it's funny because
I agree.
This, bro. They were doing this big long story with him, with the drinking and stuff, and all that, and then he kind of like disappeared from the title picture, and then he just came back in and won that 5-way match, like for the shot at the title, and it's like they weren't. It's like they totally
what it
erased
feels like to me
build up and just did like a hot shot,
This is what it feels like to me as a former booker, and maybe you might have got this vibe too. It almost feels like when they started this, they were like, all right, you're going to have the championship. Then some way they got like, they went on an off-ramp somewhere else and forgot about him, and they go, remember, we promised this guy the championship. Oh, all right, that's true. And then they brought him back and they gave it to him.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a real good, true build-up. It was just, oh, wow, it's a 2-year storyline. Yeah, a 2-year storyline that was all over the place.
If you remember, Konnan and Di, if you remember, and Steven probably has, because he knows a little bit more about AEW, Paige was supposed to wrestle Omega for the belt at the end of summer, but he took time off or something like that. Steven,
He had a kid.
He had a kid. Okay,
Yeah, he had a kid.
So that was the off ramp you were talking about. He took time off when he was originally supposed to get that title.
That was
shot.
one off ramp. I think there were a couple. Would I be incorrect in that, Steven?
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
He just come back and out of nowhere, straight to number one contender, and then straight to winning the title from Kenny.
Around with the Dork Order. Remember?
Dork Order, yeah.
What's going on there? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a real build-up, I felt.
This is the second time he's gone like a battle royale. He won the casino, and then he won the over the top. So he keeps getting these shots by just winning these one matches instead of like working up the rankings that they constantly promote.
Right.
So you could be right.
Climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
He's really climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
Exactly. If they would have showed video packages like Konnan was saying, this story would have hit a lot more. Because like the crowd live was into Bryan more than they were into Paige. Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted to see Bryan win. They were chanting.
Well, he's a stronger character.
Yeah.
He speaks better. His wrestling is better. He's more physical with his work. He's just I think most people would agree that the wrong guy went over in this.
Yeah, and you just gave.
It's like just because you don't want to make it look like you're bringing the WWE guys and then you're pushing them ahead of your talent and stuff. But it's like, I don't think anybody. I think people are sitting there maybe a little bit disappointed, thinking like they have a vision for like a lot of the feuds that Daniel Bryan could have been in if he was the champion, as opposed to Adam Page right now.
Right.
I don't think anybody really cares who Adam Page wrestles next.
Right.
I mean, does anybody really care who he wrestles next?
No, you're right. And Bryan Danielson had so many matchups that you were like, holy shit, I'd like to see this.
And now he's got this definitive loss, and it's kind of
How
like,
do they
where are we going to
so
go?
Much? I don't understand. We're all agreeing. We're all fans. We're all agreeing on the same I don't hear anybody here saying no. Why aren't they seeing this
I don't know.
Well,
but let me give you an example.
Right?
Let me give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
You would prefer, the 155-pound champion in UFC to be Conor McGregor. I think everybody would agree that Conor would be the guy with the belt because he'd have a million. Charles Oliveira they're doing like Adam Page, like Charles Oliveira.
Right.
He's like the guy that's got the belt that nobody really cares unless he wrestles. Right. Exactly. So
it's a good analogy. Yeah.
Because Oliveira doesn't have good sound bites. Oliveira ain't getting in trouble.
You're not interested in any feuds.
Just a nice guy, another nice guy, just like in wrestling. Another nice guy. Gee, he's nice.
Right.
Well, you gotta. Everybody can't be nice. Everybody has the same gimmick. Somebody embrace being a. Somebody embrace being a heel. Somebody like Colby Covington did. Bro, he was terrible in promos at the beginning, and I mean brutal. And he actually got to a point where I was laughing at some of the stuff he was saying, but Dan Lambert actually told me this when I talked to him in AEW. He said that they went to Brazil and they were going to cut him. UFC was going to cut him.
Yeah.
And Lambert, being a great promo man himself, said, you better start learning how to cut some promos and get some heat. And that's when he started burying the Brazilians, and now look at him.
Yep.
But he made a conscientious effort to, you know what I'm saying? Embrace. And then he became a Trump guy. He said, let me hold on to this. This gets a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And look at him. Yeah.
AEW seems like they are not trying to make the same mistakes that other companies have made in the past, but they're going too far to one side with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they don't want to make the WWE guy. They don't want to do what TNA did, which was push every WWE guy to the top over their talent.
Their homegrown guys.
Company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
that
also,
doesn't matter, bro. You just need to push the most talented guys, whether they're in your company or not. Then why signed them?
When AEW started, their talent pool was a lot different than it is today. So I think it's been mentioned how I feel like Tony Khan had a list of people he wanted champion, but that was before all this talent came in. Like if that's the case, because that's what it feels like. Like it was supposed to be Chris Jericho, then it was supposed to be Moxley, then you passed it to Omega, and now we have Paige. So but you didn't have all these talents that came in. So it's like Bryan Danielson is one of the top talents, and he's shown it. And to mention also the storyline, like he beat up on all of Dark Order. They should have showed it how he broke up. What's his name? Kurt Cobain's. Cole Cabana's tooth. Yeah, Cole Cabana's tooth, and how he injured his other friends. Building up to to then be like, all right, we want to see this guy lose because he's the heel. But it's like they cut too much straight to the matches.
But let me make a. I'm sorry. Let me make a point, Roberto, before I forget. That thing that you talk about putting them before other guys, we're bringing in guys from WWE and we're putting them ahead of AEW guys. That seems to be something that's, very pro wrestling centric, and it's stupid. Because I have that problem in my promotion. And I always tell everybody, bro, the moment he steps in the dressing room, he's in AAA. He doesn't need to be here 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years. He's part of AAA. And it's almost like if you think of your favorite sports team, and think of a player that was on the most hated team that you hate, and you hated him, but when he came to your team, it was all love. They weren't like telling him, hey, you got to be here a year before we let you be part of the team. No, you can help now, come help. And that's how it should be in wrestling. It shouldn't be like, oh, WWE guys before AEW guys. Hey, man, if you ain't cutting the mustard, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's
Plus,
just
too,
how I feel.
it's like they're using these unwritten rules. And the rules are not written down, and they're unwritten rules, and the unwritten rules are kind of not really good for business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
They're not.
It's like,
They're not.
Like, we're not supposed to put this. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You don't think that Daniel Bryan, promoting him as the champion, something that's not going to draw, bro. You're going to draw WWE fans.
And bro, it shows the
It's like you said,
we're going to watch your show if you. Yes,
Bro,
absolutely.
And it shows the professionalism of Bryan Danielson. He came in straight up for WWE with the name that he has and who he is, and he put this guy over twice.
There was a lot more people there than the first time. I mean, the first time in Newark, it was a ton of people. Like, you couldn't walk down the street to the bar right across the street from the arena. I got out of the car, and it was a ghost town.
You went.
The whole hard camera side had a bunch of empty seats.
You're talking about last night you were there?
I was there last night, and then I was at the first. I've been to all the shows that they had in New York, and this was the one, the least attended.
Yeah, I think people are scared of Omicron, though. I think that's a thing too.
Or do you think, Robert? Because I was reading this the other day, that between WWE and Ring of Honor and all these other promotions, they've been running the New York market too much.
Absolutely. I think it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both.
Yeah, combination of both.
Let's continue.